Well, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back. I know it's been a little while. It's been a while since I've seen you. Um, we've just been really busy, minding our own business and doing our own damn thing, things that need to be done. Um, I have an update for you. This is wild. We all know 'em. We all know how corrupt they are, but they never cease to create a shock factor with just how blatantly corrupt the Meade County government is. So, it's really no laughing matter because people's lives get damaged, maybe forever from some of this crazy shit. But as you know, J.J. Scarborough is an elected official in Meade County, Kentucky. And that being said, there are elections for his position. And that means that before elections, there's campaign. And in campaigns, the dirt comes out from certain people in certain positions, digging up certain records and things of that nature. So after a brief intro here, I'm going to play you guys a little intro and a song. We're going to come back and we're going to discuss the most current update on the corruption in Meade County, Kentucky. It's freaking crazy and never ending. So it is what it is. But let's switch over here and do a brief intro.
My girlfriend and I were victims of a botched police raid that was performed by Clark County, Indiana Police Department, Sheriff's Department.
According to court documents, Chris Ryder was severely beaten during the raid and his girlfriend's back was broken. That led them to filing a federal lawsuit against the Sheriff's Department for civil rights violations, alleging they falsely obtained the warrant.
It led us to need to start researching records and getting information and intel from people that might know anything so that we could understand how does something like this happen inside of a sheriff's agency.
Ryder says what they found was evidence of widespread corruption within the department, evidence they turned over to the Department of Justice. He has documented his journey on his YouTube channel called For Public Safety. For Public Safety. For Public Safety. For Public Safety.
Well, okay, fill me in.
Just dig, brother. You a tree finder, you finder.
I am a tree finder.
Absolutely.
You're right about that.
I guess it would help if I unmute my mic. Sorry. Well, all right. So welcome in. I appreciate all of you being here. We need to bring attention to this issue, and more so, maybe we need to bring energy to the situation because, I mean, how long can this shit go on? Like, how many people do we just sit back and allow these people, these paid government actors of one little shithole town in Kentucky? No offense to the Meade County residents, but the government there is creating a shithole out of your community, out of all the work, all the tax money's being frivolously blown by these yahoos that are just abusing the shit out of the legal system. Now, I can't speak a lot about the current situation because I really don't know much more than what I do. But we're here now on my channel to go over what I do know about this situation. First of all, I know that these particular actors, particularly the ones surrounding JJ Scarborough, are very quick to lie on documentation and press bogus charges on people that expose them. Anyone who exposes Scarborough for the real illegal shit that he's doing seems to get charged with bogus charges, or at least they make the attempt to charge these people with bogus charges. And I think Flow State's going to bring some people in here in just a little bit and may even come up with me here in a bit. So we'd like to welcome them if they're not here already. So, yeah, we got a lot going on. It's election season, and Scarborough is an elected official. I know it sounds confusing to a lot of people because in most states they don't elect a jailer, head jailer. Most states that's not an elected position. It's a position that's selected by the sheriff, and the sheriff agency in most states is responsible for the jail. But that's not the case in Kentucky. In the state of Kentucky, they still elect their jailers, and it's proven to be an issue. Like, I don't know why they don't get with the time, get with the program, and stop doing that, because the more government officials positions that we create, the more windows for corruption. And I mean that by the definition, by the legal definition of the word corruption, meaning that they abuse their position to steal funding, to steal money, which is what we know has been going on, particularly from this individual. I'm pointing the wrong way right here. Tiffany and I have shown so much of it, it's ridiculous, but it's not just us. I mean, they've exposed themselves. Other mainstream media has exposed it. People have been putting it on Facebook, on different forms, social media platforms, Reddit, Twitter, which is now X. All this stuff comes out about these people. They have created so many victims in Meade County, Kentucky, that it's absolutely pathetic. And the pathetic part is that it continues, that nothing's getting done about it. You see no arrests of the actual corrupt government officials. And now we're going to see an arrest of a government actor in this situation. And we finally get that. And then you have to look at it and go, wait a minute. Are they actually doing a real arrest on somebody who's actually broken the law? Or is it someone who was just political opposition for a corrupt employee, a known corrupt, unethical employee? So here's what's happened, apparently. This guy's name is Josh, right here, Josh Ferguson, who was running against Scarborough. And in that, he wasn't just running against him, he was campaigning. And in his campaign, he had a Facebook page like most campaigning government officials do. And on that Facebook page, man, he was putting out some facts. He was putting out some facts about Scarborough. And as those facts were coming out, his campaign was looking pretty good. A lot of people were supporting him, and probably still are. Maybe, if anything, this move that was done by the corrupt government employees in Meade County, maybe it will boost the campaign that Ferguson was running here, because Ferguson was exposing them for exactly what they were doing all over his campaign page. But he was actually a lot, like, I would have been a lot more focused on the corruption than he was. He was more focused on a clean campaign and just putting the facts out there. I mean, whereas Scarborough, we've seen in his campaigns, he will lie about his opponent and just paint them with the most ruthless false allegations. Remember what he did to the former jailer that he took the position of? He had lied for 2 years, saying that official had been charged with, I think it was doing like having having computer systems that he wasn't supposed to have. It was some kind of theft allegation that Scarborough was making, and the prosecution investigated it for 2 years or something like that. And the guy, Troy Seeley was his name, he came out completely clean in the end because it was not true. It was just one of Scarborough's campaign rallies, a bullshit lie that he was making up about the former jailer so that he could steal his position. Because we all know, that's what they're all about. JJ and Amber are all about theft. I mean, they got in there. They're $3 million in the hole, I hear, on running the jail. They've overspent the nursing budget, the medical budget, almost to its max capacity, so that they can't afford to do anything else in the medical inside of the jail, because all the money is going to Scarborough's girlfriend, and that's it. So they can barely afford to do anything on a medical level, which is a huge issue with inside the jail. I mean, people need medical. It doesn't matter if they've committed crimes or what they're in for. And you got to remember, this is a county system, so these people that are in this jail, the majority of them haven't even seen the judge yet to prove a case, whether they're guilty or innocent or whatever. So you don't just blow their medical on your girlfriend and then move in with her so that you don't have to pay your fair share in life. That's what's going on. And I'm sure that they've gotten very comfortable with the amount of money that they've been bringing in for the past 4 years now, by playing this corruption game. And I doubt it would be easy for them to allow something to change that is going to eliminate I think $80,000, maybe $100,000 a year from that grift. So it would be reasonable to conclude that Scarborough is going to fight really hard to keep that position, even though he's obviously not fit for it. I mean, he doesn't know how to budget. He's buying things without permission, like trucks. He's running the jail in a way that it's like $3 million over budget. He cannot pass a single audit, not one audit. The county has had to do additional outsourced audits to try to fix the problems where he failed the regular audits. And then when they come back and look at that again, it's failing again. Not the same failure. A repetitive of that thing is being failed. So like the guy won't listen. They're saying, fix this, stop doing this. And then he turns around and does it again in the next budget cycle. He doesn't care, or he's too stupid to understand what it is that he's supposed to be doing with the money. So the jail is just completely way under right now, the huge debt. And they're taking money from other departments, from other sectors to try to compensate for the losses that are being done under this idiot in the jail. Right. So it's beyond time for a new jailer to step in, is what I'm trying to say. And this guy, Josh, I don't know him. I don't know how fit he would be, but I can say this: it's worth a try. All right, put a one in chat if you think it's worth a try to replace Scarborough. I mean, I'm sure that's the consensus he was getting. Put a one in chat if you think it's worth a try to replace Scarborough with anybody else, like somebody. So we all know how this works with the Meade County government officials, particularly JJ and the sheriff, Wimpy, and his staff, and the prosecutor, which is Sidney Durham. we all know their game. What they do is they make up false charges on people that challenge them in exposing their grift or their corruption. And particularly JJ's. I don't know why he's so well protected by the sheriff and the prosecutor, but for some reason they think it's appropriate to utilize the criminal justice system that they have control of under those facets to try to attack anyone exposing, which I am subject of. I have 15 fake charges from those exact same people to attack anybody who's exposing them. I will show you. I'm going to share screen with you here. I gave Flo a link if he wants to come up. Flo, you're welcome to come up. We've talked a lot about this behind the scenes. Let's see. Hold on a second. All right. So I've got this to show you. So there's this guy named Josh Ferguson who was running against JJ. And in that, he had a campaign website, which has been removed now, probably by the Meade County government. The Facebook page has been taken down. And this is what you can see when you research him now. They're saying that he has been arrested and charged with felonies. So, and obviously he's not been through court yet, so he's not been found guilty of anything. Matter of fact, I would suggest that he's going to be found not guilty, knowing my situation with them. But so Josh ran against JJ. Josh has been very vocal on the internet about his position in his campaign. He has been exposing the shit out of Scarborough and Scarborough's misappropriations in the position of jailer. And then all of a sudden, boom, the guy gets arrested. Now, here are the charges. This is what I looked at that kind of raised red flags for me the most. Impersonating a peace officer. Let's talk about that for a second. Impersonating a peace officer. Here's one thing that I know about Ferguson. He was a peace officer. So how do you charge a peace officer, like a legit award-holding peace officer? How do you charge a peace officer with impersonating a peace officer? What? Like, mind blown. I mean, the guy is literally, or at least was, and I think he let go of that position so that he could run for jailer. He was a peace officer. So, like, to me, that put a one in chat if that raises red flags for you too, that they're charging a person who was a legit license holding police position with impersonating a police officer. Put a one in chat if that sounds fishy to you, that he would be charged with that. And then here's the other: unlawful access to a computer in the first degree. Unlawful access to a computer. So, here's my thoughts on that. This guy was not only a peace officer in the past, Ferguson, the one who ran against JJ, is running against JJ. Not only was he a peace officer, but even prior to that, he was an elected peace officer, by the way. A constable position, which is peace officer. Okay. So that, I think that has a term limit. And before that term limit, he was, get this, an employee at the jail, at the Meade County jail, who bumped heads with Scarborough. And by bumped heads, I mean he was a whistleblower. He was a whistleblower who couldn't handle working in an environment where he knew that things were not being done legally. And he called it out, and then he quit. Well, then Scarborough goes on his YouTube channels, one with the murderer Kaiser that's now in prison, and Todd and Chris Ruff. And he says, oh, well, the reason I'm $3 million behind is because we somebody didn't count the Coca-Cola machine right. There's a few Coca-Colas. I shit you not, he said that. He said that they weren't counting the sodas for the soda machine. And when I looked into that, I found out that the soda machine didn't even belong. That wasn't even under the purview. That was an outside contractor that sold the sodas in the lobby. So that, I mean, but we already knew it was a lie. You're not going to go $3 million in a hole in 4 years from, miscounting a few sodas, right? So that was one of the things that I'm sure that Ferguson, that was running against Scarborough, would have been fully aware of and had computer access to, by the way. But there was a lot more than that. A lot of things inside the jail I would love to bring his campaign page up that I was following, but when he got arrested, it got taken down. Imagine that. Like they tried to do to my Facebook page. Do you remember that? They tried to take my Facebook and they did take my YouTube channel down. They just did it in a dirtier way because we had a good attorney and I had a lot of support, and they weren't able to remove my Facebook and my YouTube at the time of my arrest, my false arrest. So, that's where we're at. Yeah, Tyrant Ware says $3 million for missing a few sodas. Yeah, right. Exactly. I think all the excuses that we hear on YouTube from this corrupt government official are just that stupid. I'll give you a little update on my position. So we're waiting on a mediator, and it would appear that one of the new prosecutors that they got, because Cindy Durham can't prosecute against me, so it's going to be part of the argument too. Like, she recused right in the very beginning because I caught her being illegal right off the bat. She was breaking the law on my case almost right away. I don't know. Did y'all see the video where we pressed charges on the sheriff and the prosecutor for stealing our phones? Did y'all see that? Put a one in chat if you saw that video. We pressed charges on the prosecutor and the sheriff for not following process. They were supposed to give us our property back within, I think it was 48 hours. Like, they had a max of 72. So we waited until the max, and then we went in and we pressed criminal felony theft charges, and it worked. That worked. Like, that shook them. So when they realized, oh crap, we could be held to criminal standards, maybe we didn't present it to the proper agency. We presented it to the Meade County Sheriff Department. We probably should have gone straight to the Attorney General's office with that information at the time. But yeah, we went there, and the officer, we kind of tricked him into, oh, what's up, Powder Dusty people coming on in here. They're late. They're late. And Powder Dusty, you're welcome to join me up here if you want. I sent you the link. But welcome in, Powder Dusties. Welcome in. I'll do a little review here in a minute if Flo wants to come up of what we just talked about. But essentially what we're doing here is, well, here, let's give it just a minute. We got a Dusty raid coming in, which is Flow State for a lot of y'all. And if one of my mods will please put Powder Dusty's link in as well for my viewers, I would appreciate that. We've been doing a little collaborating here and there. Flo's been a lot of help. So come on in, Flo. Come on in, Flo gang. You're very much welcome here. We were just talking about the corrupt politician from Meade County, Kentucky, known as J.J. Scarborough, who has had his friend, the dirty prosecutor from the tiny little tiny town in Kentucky called, it's Meade County, Kentucky. Brandenburg is the name of the city, but they're county officials. He has used his influence, apparently, on his political opposition to have his opponent charged with felonies. And the charges are, thank you very much, Odin. I appreciate that. The charges are related to impersonating a police officer, which what we're saying here is this guy, Josh, that was running against Scarborough, he was a constable. He was a police officer. So, like, how the hell do you get charged with impersonating a police officer when you are a police officer. That's so red flag for me. And then the other thing is that they charged him with was unlawful access to a computer in the first degree. And the thing that I happen to know about Ferguson is that he used to work at the jail under the corrupt official JJ, and he had access to their computer. So when he campaigned later, a lot of the stuff that he probably obtained while he legally had access to that computer, he was using in his campaign against Scarborough to show that there was corruption. So I'm thinking they probably reached back on the statute of limitation timelines, and they were like, oh, well, now he doesn't work at the jail anymore, and now he's not a constable anymore because he let that position go to run against Scarborough for jailer. I'm thinking that they're probably charging him, which I could be wrong, y'all. I don't know. I don't talk to Josh. I don't know what these charges are. I just have been following his campaign on Facebook, and I mean he's putting down the facts. He's been putting down the facts, and we all know here that when you put down the facts on the government officials that we're talking about, the jailer, the prosecutor, especially the jailer, the prosecutor, and the sheriff, okay, that includes a lot of the people that work at the sheriff's department, and also the judge executive has been caught up in some stuff lately, which is under a state representative. We recently learned that the judge and a state rep own the freaking media that's available to like publish any information, including government misconduct. So if you own the newspaper and you own the radio station, and people under you that you're responsible for are caught up in a situation like, maybe, for example, this is what I'm being told by some credible sources right now, that one of the sheriff department deputies tried to bust a U-turn and caused a motorcycle to run into a telephone pole. Rest in peace to whoever victim that happened to. We even have a hard time bringing these situations up because when this government does things, they hurt people. Oh, thank you, Steve Cousins, member for 3 months. Welcome back to another Support FPS. Yeah, so it's hard to even talk about this stuff. And then, of course, the government officials always run straight to the families going, this guy on YouTube is talking shit about your blah, blah, blah. And they don't even know that the people being sent are family members or people that are involved in recipient of the monies that come from the corruption. They don't even know that those are the people that are going to them. Like Amber Brown's family, her family are very vocal and active at reaching out to people in the community and covering for her own daughter. It's her daughter that's getting paid Meade County tax money to the extent in which the jail doesn't even have enough in their balance for their medical to provide medical to the people in jail. And then her mom goes out and talks to victims of the government out there and says, this YouTube people, these people on Facebook, they're trash talking, your family member who's been a recent victim of things, So yeah, so we're recently learning that there was a person that was potentially caused to get in a fatal accident on a motorcycle due to a police officer violating law. Now, I can't verify that. I haven't verified that. Welcome back to a membership there again, Claire. Thank you. 3 months in a row. I appreciate that. But that's the kind of shit we're talking about here. These government officials that are in right now, they are bad. They are bad. And the county needs to make changes. But the problem is when someone tries to make a change, when a new person, runs for government to try to change the leaf. And if you look at what it says there, his campaign slogan was change and integrity. I agree. The Meade County needs a change and more integrity. in their government. So, you know, that's what the dude was going for. But yeah, so they arrested him, and I believe he's still in jail right now. I'll try to get more information about that later, or for you all later. Does anybody want to come up and talk about it a little bit? I mean, I can open up the panel, and there's a lot of people who are fully aware of the stuff going on here. Let's see. Yeah, I'll put the StreamYard link up here. If anybody wants to come up and share their thoughts on this kind of thing, we'll go from there. I'm not going to be up here for too awful long. I've been on the closed panel for a little bit now, so I'm kind of getting to the end of my internet day here. Oh, Steve Cousin dropping 10 New Zealand dollars for diesel. Thank you, buddy. Summer sunglasses. Here, let me I don't know how I was going to put it on there. I was going to pin it, but I think I can do it over here. Nope. I can show it. What the heck? There we go. I got to get better at this stuff, y'all. And we had another one from Steve that I almost missed. Let's see. Where was it? Oh, no, that was the one from Steve. We had, let's do this. We had good old Claire coming up for another 3 months membership. I really appreciate that, y'all. We've been hurting financially, so every penny helps. Steve Cousins, there's the other one from Steve, member for 3 months. And then we had, I hope I can go back far enough. Odin was dropping 100 Norway dollars. Thank you so much, Odin. And how you like the green screen, buddy? We got it set up now. The new office set up. The StreamYard link is in the chat, y'all. If anybody wants to come up, we're just going to open this up to, let's just talk about it. You know, I mean, government corruption is just rampant. It's so out of control. I mean, it's overwhelming. Am I right? Like, because it's happening. We knew that we had a huge issue with it happening locally for everybody. Like, none of us would have disagreed that we had local corruption in all of our towns. And then we saw a lot of state corruption in other states. So, I mean, a lot of us knew that was going on. And I think the general consensus is that, man, we see corruption all over the place in government. They abuse our funds all over the place. And then recently we had, you know, a presidential campaigning on exposing corruption that has shown major corruption in the federal level. And it's not, they weren't just exposing the already foregoing government corruption. They showed you that they can also commit corruption. And it's just a vicious circle. Like, our whole system is just freaking not even like there's nothing left. There's zero integrity left. Thank you, Steve Cousins, dropping another vote for diesel for 10 New Zealand dollars. Yes, he is the head of the house. Always has been, always will be, I'm sure. But thank you for that, Steve. Diesel thanks you as well. He's in there hanging out with his mom while she does, I think she's working on a saddle. I almost said homework because she just, the law school thing, she's been doing that so much. She took on a little bit extra recently so that she could graduate sooner and reach her goal sooner. So she's been doing a lot of homework. And I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe she's got like a 3.5 GPA so far. So congratulations, official misconduct. We know you'll see this later if you're not watching now, but we love you and keep doing what you're doing. The system is so corrupt. We need good lawyers. So in TB dropping $5. I got to drop this. I think you meant to say something a little bit different, but now he's got to drop $5 on us. Thank you very much, TB. Very much appreciated. And I have been slacking. I can admit it. I've been slacking on YouTube. I've been putting a lot more effort into our horses and regular work and, you know, Tiff's doing school and family life. We've got, you know, a lot of stuff going on. So, we're staying super busy, and it's kind of fun to let the rumors fly. Like I heard the other day that they were saying that people were saying, "Oh, Chris won't do the live stream on YouTube no more because he's in a bunch of legal trouble." No more than I was. I ain't no trouble for nothing new. I'm still right in the same place. And it's actually looking pretty good in our argument because, I mean, this Meade County government is so damn corrupt. Nobody's going to believe a word they say. The only chance that they have is if their corruption can go unchecked and they get away with violating all the positions that they have control of, and they just railroad people through the court system. I don't think our lawyer, mine and Tiffany's lawyer, I don't think he's going to let them do that. I hope for the sake of Josh Ferguson, who is campaigning against this corrupt official, I hope that he's in the same position. Like I said, I don't know him well. I just kind of, been following his campaign because I know that he's not wrong when he says there needs to be change and integrity. And I support that for Meade County residents. I don't live in Meade County. I live about 30 minutes from Meade County in the next state over. So like when I hope for them, it's for them. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't have skin in the game other than that, I have been wrongfully charged by their dirty, corrupt government. But I know, I can only imagine how hard it would be to be a civilian with that kind of government, with this shit hole in the wall, country boy bullshit corruption. I mean, these are people who have called in on white supremacist groups to come harass people, and then their government employees, not only did they call in the white supremacist groups, but they made sure that they couldn't get in trouble no matter what they did while they were there. They've called in on these groups more than once. Like back, I think they had obtained this or bought, I think Meade County bought an old Civil War statue or something like that a while back. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. The link's in the chat. But I think I remember Louisville had a stash of very, here's that link again. They had a very, a lot of animosity was behind one of these civil, I think it was a Civil War general statue or something like that. It came out of Louisville and it got taken down. There, I pinned it. It got taken down because of protests and stuff. And there was law. Like, I think there was, I want to say that there was lawsuits, but they ended up finally, Louisville took it down. So they took down this statue, and then it was shipped 40 miles upriver to Brandenburg, to the Meade County. So Meade County bought it and then erected it. And then as I'm told, they had a bunch of white supremacists come out there and guard it. and they wanted the heat. Like they wanted to see people get upset about it, because one of the government officials at that time had gone on mainstream media and literally said, challenged people. I dare you to say something about us putting this statue up at her, that kind of thing. So these people have had relationships with white supremacist groups for a long time, beyond the now elected officials. It goes back beyond them. In another instance, so one of the main KKK leaders was actually arrested and charged over an incident that occurred at the fair in Meade County, Kentucky, where some white supremacists were out there giving away their pamphlets, trying to get people to join their club, and saw a mixed kid that, they wanted to make a point out of. So they apparently beat the living crap out of the guy. And they did get charged for that, but the state stepped in, the feds stepped in, the feds ended up tracing it back to a leader of the KKK group, and that guy was charged. But I mean, look at the connection here. Meade County, like, what are they doing? What are they doing with this white supremacy bullshit. What are they doing having white supremacists come to normal people's court hearings, armed and obviously, obstructing their justice system intentionally with support of the guards of the county? Like the guards, they're in on it. They know. They're like, well, these people are here on our behalf. You don't want to bring in that type of animosity to your courthouses. If y'all remember in my video when I walked in and they were all there, the first thing I said to the first person I saw on the inside, which was, I think it was Kelly Brown or maybe it was Whitehead's wife, that got right in my face and tried to wave a blue line flag trying to make me flinch or whatever. And I said, it's funny that you got the white supremacists here to make fun of your courthouse, because it's true. It's wild. But that's the kind of podunk Kentucky town we're talking about here. I could only imagine trying to be a citizen, a taxpayer, living in that town, knowing that you're going to get nothing out of your government and they're going to take anything they can from you. And by God, if you speak up about it, you will be thrown in their jail because everybody there is in on it that's working in the government. They all are, from the prosecutor to the judge executive to the jailer, of course, right, to the sheriff's department. And, where do we go from here? How do we fix it? How do we fix it? That's the biggest question. Well, the answer is you get people to run against them, like this guy who says, I'm going to make a change. That's the one of the ways that we, the people, have available, is to get in there and don't do those things and start exposing that it's happening, demand that changes be made, let the taxpayers and the voters know that it needs to be. Like, I know it sounds stupid. Like, I get it. I don't like government either. I don't like how it functions. I don't like all the ways that we can do that. Like, I don't think it's fair. But I am saying it is available. So that is one of the things that's available is getting new electorals in there and making some of these changes from the inside out. But by God, if you try to do that in Meade County, Kentucky, they will arrest you on charges that appear to be bogus. They'll arrest a cop for impersonating a peace officer. Excuse me? They'll arrest a cop for unlawful access to a police computer or a government computer when they're a government employee with access to the computers under their government status. If they will do that to them, then what's left? What's left? Well, that's what I got to say about it. I don't know. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he did break the law. I don't know the guy. But I don't think so. And it doesn't appear to be that way based on the charges and based on the information that's been being exposed on his website, a website which was removed conveniently right after this guy's arrest. Now, I'm sure that this information that I'm producing here now on my YouTube channel will be circulating the YouTube streets, in which the actors that have been getting monies, right, like the benefit from this corruption, there are beneficiaries, right? There are people who get money and have like a job to do to help boost the corruption and protect the corruption from exposing. One of those is going to be obviously Christopher Ruff, which is why he tanked himself. He tanked himself because he got exposed for working for the government. The dude, Direct D, works for the government. Everybody knows that now. So that dude down, but he's still going to talk, because his mouth just don't stop. It's too stupid to shut up. And then Todd has been receiving gifts every time that he's been involved. So I'm sure he'll probably do some type of follow-up so he can get a gift. But what they're going to do is they're going to try to paint it somehow that the known corrupt officials are just fine in their corruption, and they're going to try to spin it on the person that was trying to stop the corruption. That's what they do. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't watch their channels, but I do enjoy seeing, the aftermath of every video that I produce. Like it's entertaining to me to watch them sink, I guess. But what's not entertaining to me is seeing the damages that are done to both the residents of Meade County and the victims of the government of Meade County. That's not entertaining to me. That shit's got to stop. And I guess I kind of make fun of my own situation when I shouldn't, because I technically am a victim of them. I mean, they have cost me, tens of thousands of dollars. They've tried to paint me with a bad police record. They've gone all over social media making up false allegations about me for years now. What, 2 years, y'all? Saying everything under the sun except for the truth. They've done a lot of damage to Tiffany. They've made threats to injure, all the way injure, to end our animals. Like it's not okay. I mean, it's the bottom line. It's not okay. So I'm going to leave it here. I think TV said he's going to be doing a music video or something later on. So y'all feel free to drop your links. Dan Gravette's in here. Drop his link. Anybody who wants to link drop wrenches, go right on ahead. Thank you all so much for the monetary support. It's very much will be used in a very helpful way. Like, you're being very helpful with that. We have been struggling like hell financially. And then somebody that I don't really know had asked me a few financial questions regard to our lawsuit that we won. So I guess I'll put this out here. I didn't know there were a lot of people asking, but we took a settlement at the end of it because we had even if we'd gone through the whole another year long of the process, we weren't going to get any more at the end because we had messed up through the argument and the filings and lost the Manel claim to a mistake, to an actual clerical error that we made, and we couldn't recoup it. So we ended up getting the attorneys on board, and that cost us another $10,000, actually more. And then we also paid them at the end for their services. But I didn't even know there was any animosity over this. But a lot of people are saying, well, why are you still needing money now when you won your lawsuit? Well, we only got back half of what we lost on paper, and then we bought property with that. So that was it. I don't know that really anybody was asking. Maybe it was just the one person, but I figured I'd update with you all on that just in case there were anybody questioning that. But we needed to make a change with that money. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to move and get acreage back again, because I had a farm before the raid, and I'm trying to get acreage back again to put our horses on so we can stop boarding them. So we got a ways to go yet. We still don't have enough money to do any more than just purchase the property at this point. So that's what's done with it. It's not money for us just to run around and spend. So we're still living paycheck to paycheck while Tiffany goes to school. Yeah, it ain't easy. Anyway, I really doubt anybody actually cared about that. I think that was just one person that was asking me, but I thought I'd go ahead and throw it out there for you in case you were curious. So Meade County government at it again, arresting the political opposition with probably bogus charges. So what hope does Meade County have left? I don't know. But I can say that one thing that will not help them continue the corruption is if you make a big deal about it. So there you go. I love you all, and I'm had a great day seeing all your beautiful faces here, your beautiful names in the comment section. And I'm very appreciative. Tiffany and I very much appreciate that you're still here supporting us after all we've been through. We love you, and see you on the next one.